All right. What you see here is a new fan I picked up off of Facebook Marketplace here in the Dominican Republic. This is a universal industrial ceiling fan in the original brown finish, well, one of the two brown finishes they had. This is the lighter tone of the brown finish that they sold these in. The other one was basically more like this brown finish, which is this is the one that was at my aunt's pharmacy though. That was just a more recent paint attempt I did a few years back, about like 5 years ago or four, I'd say. But they had another wood grain finished one like that, with the same line pattern as this basically, but in that tone of brown. Which I do have the shell of one that's like that, which is just the motor only. But this is the one I've been really trying to find. Or I would love to find the other one too, but I'm happy to have found this one because this is the childhood one for me to finish, and the brown finish of it, that is. Now this one was not super close by. It was about an hour drive, but I had a friend or a neighbor of ours drive me to get it and back, and it was pretty cheap for especially the condition of this fan, which is the other reason why I got this. Because just to find them in this finish without being painted over is very, very rare. A lot of times you find them painted over white, if anything. So yeah, this one, as you can tell by the blades, have very little rust to them. They have rust to them, don't get me wrong, but compared to other Universal fans I've seen out in the wild, I mean, especially the one that I got from my aunt, this is very little rust to it, to be honest, especially for its age. And with this country having very tropical climate where it rains often, a lot of moisture in the air, metal stuff down here is prone to rust at some point down the road. Now, this fan is practically original. The only thing that's missing, well, it has all the original parts, except for the control. This is how the top of it is, which when I got the one from my aunt's pharmacy, this was really the only part I was able to preserve in terms of the original finish was the top. The side of the motor, however, I was not able to preserve as well, so that's what made me do all those numerous attempts to repaint it to look like this again. And here's the sticker on this one, which is just like the sticker on the other two that I have, the white one and the darker brown wood grain motor. They have this sticker, whereas the one from my aunt's pharmacy had it was basically the reverse coloration of this, from what I was able to tell. But yeah, I do have the corner of that piece of the sticker. It's just, I'm gonna try to tape it back on there. And this is how the canopy would have been finish-wise originally. It's just over time, obviously, it got some sun damage into like this color, which is really isn't that far off. But yeah, as you can see, that's literally how it would have looked complete up close. That is. Now I haven't been able to really have any of them side by side like this, close by to really compare the wood grains to see if they're all identical or not. The blades obviously are a bit different, but I'm not sure if they always did like one blade different than the other. Like each set, like if the other sets were all like this, where they're the exact same pattern, but each blade was a different pattern. Here's the mounting portion for it, which is basically what the Muscovian Breezes use. And it is the same OEM as Muscovian Breeze and all that. Here's the capacitor that these use, which as you can tell is not really a strong capacitor. So they don't go super fast, they're not super slow, but they're not as powerful as a K2K. But these were pretty common back when I was a kid, or not extremely common, but I saw them quite a bit more as a kid. That card place, or the place that has the card parts, that has the two K2Ks with the droopy-ish blades I've done a few videos of over the years. That used to be like a small mini mark, like a corner store, like not a Colmado, but it was more like a small grocery store, a very small one. They had three of these and three white K2Ks. So there was one K2K, one of these, of the universals. 2 universals in this row, and then 2 white KDKs there. The one that was this was like the entrance area where the white KDK and the universal was, and then it was kind of like you went this way and back and such. That place closed down in like 2003, and then they opened up that place around 2004, 2005. The one that's there currently. Though that place before, there was another one, and they had 3 white KDKs, and then they reopened it, and they only have the 2 that are still there. But yeah, the universal that was up front, right behind the white KDK, that one had a fallen canopy. Then the other one in the same row as it, that was this way, was just fine and it ran. But the one that was up here had issues, I remembered. And I remember seeing it run on reverse the one time it was on. And then the other time they had to be running the proper direction and such. But yeah, I finally got one of these, and I definitely am glad to have gotten it. Interestingly enough, it came with a Sanyo wall control, which I know is not original to this. But I do wonder if this is the original control that the Sanyo Industrial that I own would have used. That's something I figured I'd mention, but yeah. And this is white kit adaptable. They had 2 versions, one that was without the little bolt. And then there's some that don't have it that are just flat like the actual Moscovian Breezes normally would be like. Though these versions were a lot more common down here since people would use them with lights for the most part. Or, I don't know, but the the universal that was at my mom's friend's house that was painted over white, it was originally in this finish. Though I don't remember if it was in this exact finish or if it was in the darker brown finish. I feel like it was in this brown finish, but I could be mistaken because it's been a long time. And that one, I don't have any pictures of it like that, but the one at my aunt's pharmacy, I saw a lot more as a kid in this finish, so that's why I remember it being in this exact finish. Plus, when I was taking off the paint, it was in this exact finish, or was the lighter brown one. I think the one I was at my mom's friend's house and my uncle's friend's house, who my uncle had passed away since then. I remember that it was like this, I think. It might have been a darker brown, but I know it had the wood grain finish. But it was a an adaptable version, which is now the one that was painted white and such. And then they had that Nutone Front Line 2 looking-ish fan, or the Alaska looking fan, which I think, now that I think about it, I think that other one might have been an Alaska of some sort, or a later version of a Universal Able fan and such. Yes, it had the same canopy as this, just a different motor. But yeah, I finally got one of these, and I'm definitely looking for more of them, as much as I can find, as they are not that common. I do like to have these as much as I can, so I finally got the version I've been looking for the longest. As white, I can always repaint it white, but finding one in this exact finish still from factory is extremely uncommon. I mean, the only ones I've seen since are the 2 that are at that place. I filmed that a few times. One time when they were off, and the other time when they were on, and one of them was on reverse. But even those ones, they weren't in the best condition, as the blades are pretty rusted up too. Whereas this one's practically mint compared to those. And the other thing is, the motor on this one, like I think I already mentioned, the bearings are super smooth. And they make no bearing noise at all. Which I'm really happy about. Because since some of the other ones I have don't have a motor trim that work, which is the white one and the darker brown one, as that one's literally just a motor shell with the wrong motor size inside of it, I could attach those to this one, like swap the motor housings and such, and the down rods, and put the blades from that one on it to test it, since this one has a practically perfect motor to it. So that is something I plan to do whenever I get those ones tested as well. But yeah, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.